Okay. And just so you know, if you ask questions at the end, you will be recorded and put somewhere for public consumption. So if you don't want that to happen, then just you can drop your question in the chat. So this workshop is all about awakening your spiritual powers, and you're going to find out what that means. But I want to help you unlock these inner resources that you have within you. I've been seeing, not only in myself, but in my clients and in the world at large, we're often trying to derive power and validation and a sense of being enough from external sources, whether that's people in your relationships, whether that is work, whether that is social media, money. And when you are giving your power away by finding your power in these external sources, then it's never really yours. And your true power lies in your connection to your spiritual self. And so in today's workshop, I had so many different powers written down and I had to condense them because otherwise we would have been here all night long. So there may be a second part to this, but that's really the purpose of today's workshop is I just want you to reconnect with your inner resources. And if you haven't met me yet, my name is Greta Erdel, and I'll get a little bit more into my story later. And I just want to thank everybody who's also listening on replay, because I know we have a lot of people signed up and not everybody can make it live. And you are also just as important as everybody who is here with me right now. So thank you to everybody. Okay, so I want us to just begin by getting grounded. So that can look a lot of different ways. So maybe for you, that's just sitting up tall and taking some deep breaths. And maybe for you, you're somebody who has been sitting at a desk job all day and you just kind of need to like stand up and shake it off. And so I just want you to take a moment to land in the space, land in your body, land in your breath. Maybe we all just take a deep inhale together, breathe into every cell of your being. And exhale, just let that go. Again, deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And one more time, deep breath in. Exhale, release. All right. And just set an intention to be present and to receive whatever you need most out of this workshop tonight, knowing that there's something that brought you here tonight. There's something that you're going to take away from this. Even if it's one thing, just allow yourself to be open to receiving what that may be. Okay, so a little agenda. So I'm going to start with just a welcome, an intro, kind of lay the groundwork for why we're here. And then I'm going to go into the spiritual powers that I specifically chose, what they are, why they're important, and some ways to tap into them. I am going to make an offer at the end. I'm going to give you an opportunity to continue this work on a deeper layer. And if that's not something you're interested in, no problem. No need to keep listening. You can just leave at that point. But if you want to hear what I have to say and what I have to offer, you are more than welcome to listen in and or send this on to a friend once you get the recording if you think they might be a good fit for it. But I do want to put that up front right away that that's what I'm going to be doing. And then we'll do a little Q&A session at the end. And that's the plan. All right, sound good. I don't think I can see anybody, but I assume you're nodding along and all is well. Okay, so hold on here. You guys see this? Oh, there we go. Okay. Technology. Okay, so first I just want to say you are in the right place, right? You might end up on a lot of these trainings, or maybe this is your first one and it's like, why am I here? But the people that I'm really speaking to are the people who are caught in hustle culture. So maybe you are in this. You're just grinding, going through the motions, feeling very busy, feeling very frazzled. You are finding yourself in some fear, some doubt, some confusion, and while you're often consumed in that energy, you know there's a better way to operate, but sometimes you're just like, I don't know how to get off this hamster wheel. You are likely also very spiritually curious, already spiritually aware. Maybe you're into tarot or astrology or yoga, and you just want to continue to deepen this connection to your highest self, the spirit within you, and to a higher connection, the universe, God, a higher power of sorts. You want to feel a more powerful link. And you are craving deep peace. I talk to so many people, amazing people every single week who are just like, I want peace. I want fulfillment. I want to feel free. And you want to create and live an awesome life, right? But sometimes it feels out of reach. It's like, I know that I could do something really cool with my career, or maybe you have this business idea, or you just want to do something, you want to create, because, right, the opposite of creating is destroying. So if you're not creating something, you're usually in some sort of destructive energy, which usually manifests as unhelpful thoughts. So you're like, I know this is possible for me, but it feels a little bit out of reach. I just don't know my next steps. So what I want you to walk away from this workshop with is a deeper understanding of who you really are and what you're not. So much, everything that I teach is about you are not broken. There is nothing wrong with you. You simply need to return to who and what you've been all along. You simply need to remember your soul, your heart. And so I want you to walk away with that connection reestablished or stronger. I also want you to walk away with a profound sense of confidence about what you're capable of as you learn about these powers and how you can use these powers to better your life and others' lives. And I'm going to give you an awareness of some spiritual powers. Like I said, I really had to cut this list down because we would be here all night. But I want you to have an understanding of some of my favorite ones, the ones that I like to teach, and how to tap into them so ultimately you feel more peace. There's that word again, strength, to get through all the challenges and the planet and everything that's happening with energy and with joy. Okay, so why listen to me? People often ask about my story. Maybe you've heard it before, but my name is Greta Erdahl. I'm a spiritual life and business coach, and I've been in my business I've been starting different businesses. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, but this specific business for about 2 years, and I love it so much. My life is really devoted to guiding people in building their best possible life and something that they're really proud of and excited about. And I do that by helping people move through life with more clarity, more ease, more power. And then I'm also now doing a lot of focus on helping people build businesses, grow their current businesses, start a side business, or shift careers as needed, because it turns out like most of my clients right now are entrepreneurs, and I'm pretty much talking about business as it relates to spirituality. And I think being on an entrepreneur path is like the fastest way to grow spiritually, aside from probably being a parent. And so that's something that I'm focusing on a lot right now, and I'm very excited about it. So how did I get on this path? I had my first spiritual awakening at age 16 years old in, yes, you read that right, juvie. So I was a very rebellious teen. I'm a 3/5 emotional projector, if you're familiar with human design. And I was really interested in shifting my consciousness with drugs and alcohol at a young age, and got myself into trouble, ended up in juvie. And I, for the first time in juvie, experienced profound gratitude, because I saw all these kids living in juvie and they would rather be there than be at home. And I realized that my parents ultimately sent me there out of love, and that I had been treating my parents terribly, and that I needed to really get out of my own negative mindset about my life and a lot of entitlement. And as a result of ending up in juvie, I got kicked out of all school sports, but I was still very active. I was very interested in having a physical practice of sorts. And so there was one yoga class offered once a week in my very small town in northern Minnesota. And it was all with women like my mom's age or older, but it was literally class 1 or class 2. I, again, felt this sense of gratitude, and I connected with my body and my breath and my soul. And I remember having the thought, I am meant to teach yoga. Like, I am here to be a yoga teacher. Like, this is what I'm here to do. And so I told my parents, I'm going to become a yoga instructor. And they're like, well, you can, but you're also going to go to college. And so I ended up going to community college and getting certified to teach yoga sort of at the same time. And now I'm living in Minneapolis. I'm in a big city, and I end up getting a job in the corporate world. I end up getting a job at a Fortune 100 company, and it really like shook me out of this yoga lifestyle. And I now found myself in this sort of soul sucking career. I was selling tape and glue over the phone. And I also was building a business on the side. I've always been having side hustles. I had a hula hooping business. I was doing social media and marketing for fitness wellness companies. I ended up leaving that job, and I ended up taking an even bigger outside sales job covering 22 states in the middle of the country. And this led to major burnout and addiction. I got addicted to Adderall. I was taking it every single day. And I ended up looking for my sense of self and my connection to God in drugs and in chasing that high. And one day my life really flashed before my eyes, and I realized if I continue down this path, I'm not going to become the person that I'm meant to be. Like, I have to stop taking Adderall. I have to stop drinking so much. I have to stop smoking weed. Like, this is not going anywhere good. And so I tried everything. I tried recovery programs. I did a lot of self-help. I did therapy. I did transcendental meditation, and nothing really worked for me until I rediscovered Kundalini yoga. And I say rediscovered because I had tried it. My first yoga teacher from after juvie gave me a Kundalini yoga DVD, and I had tried it, and I noticed that it felt so different than the other types of yoga. But when I ultimately got certified to teach yoga, it was more like fitness yoga that I was doing at the time. So I found Kundalini yoga again. This is like 8 years ago-ish, 6 years ago. And it gave me that same high. It gave me this connection to myself, this connection to creativity, this connection to deep peace. And it was on those days that I was doing Kundalini yoga that I didn't find that I was needing to take the drugs or the alcohol. And now that was like a little bit of a, rocky road, a lot of quitting and picking it up again. But eventually I was able to get clear of my dependency on substances. And then I just went down this path of Kundalini yoga, understanding my subconscious mind. It led to human design, EFT, which is tapping, journaling, visualization, and more. And through all of these tools, I really truly found myself and healed myself in a way where I knew the next best thing to do was share it with others. And so I, at the time, had a job at a gym doing sales and marketing, and I ended up getting laid off. And it was really the push I needed to finally go all in my business now, doing spiritual life and business coaching for high achieving women who want to awaken their power and create a fulfilling and peaceful life and business. So that's why you should listen to me if you would like to. Okay, so let's talk about where you are now. Where most people are now is that they have dormant power. So everybody has access to spiritual powers, to Kundalini energy, but most people, and some of the spiritual texts say like 80% of the population will never really awaken their dormant potential. And so it's untapped. And if you are on this verge of like, I know there's more, I know I'm capable of more, I know I can create more, but you're not sure how, this is where you are. So you just know there's more, and you maybe dance between these two versions of yourself. Like the version of you that's like, yes, I can do it, I got this, like anything is possible. And then the version of you that has a lot of doubt, and you kind of feel like you're in this range of really believing in yourself and not believing in yourself. And often you find yourself stuck in patterns where you know you're not acting as this most powerful version of yourself. You're people pleasing, you're maybe gossiping, complaining, doubting, playing small, not allowing yourself to take up space. And you may be reacting in ways that don't feel aligned with who you truly are. And we all do this. We're all human, but it might be happening more than you like. Like inside, you want to be the spiritual person, and maybe you're doing some of these things to be the best person you can be, but then you snap, or you say things negative, or you hear yourself gossiping or reacting in a way that just isn't truly aligned, and it kind of gives you that sinking feeling. You may be also seeing other people shining. You're seeing people doing things that are inspiring for you. I remember this, like looking at other coaches, looking at other people who were in their businesses full time, and it was like so amazing to see, but it stung because I knew I was capable of that, but I wasn't doing anything about it. And your gifts are just waiting to be expressed, but you're just not sure how to unlock them yet. Okay, so let's talk about why you are here, why you're talking to me. You want to remember yourself, remember who and what you really are, and live your highest destiny. Your highest destiny is the path that is going to be the most aligned and authentic to you. And it's your highest destiny is the path of love, where you're giving and receiving the most amount of love and leaving a ripple of love on the planet. I did a TikTok about this where like I sometimes like to, I mean, this is a little bit morbid, but I like to think about my funeral. I like to think about how many people am I touching? How many people am I impacting through all the ways that I'm showing up online, through my work, through my one-on-one clients. I know some of you are here and I love you so much. It's like, I want to, if I died tomorrow, like I want to know that like there are going to be so many people there that were like, wow, like her vibration really changed my life. And that is something that motivates me. And that is what I think about of like living your highest destiny, where if you were to die, like you would leave a mark that was really impactful in helping other people tap into more love. So you may be in this place where there's a voice in your head that tells you, a lot of us hear this voice, you're broken, there's something wrong with you, you just can't get it right, you have some of that perfectionism, and sometimes you believe it, right? But deep down, you know it's not true. You know it. You know you are a spiritual being. You know this human body, this meat suit, it's just temporary. It's just an incarnation. You are here for a reason. Your soul chose to be here on planet Earth with all its craziness and all its uncertainty and all its turmoil. You are here for a reason right now on this planet to awaken, to make a difference in your own unique way, and to fully remember who you are again and again and again. And you're not here to just push through life. You're here to live it fully. You are here to reconnect with your soul, reclaim your power, and actually enjoy this precious life. Okay, so where do you want to be? You want to feel whole. You want to feel complete and enough, just as you are. You want to get out of funks faster without it affecting your relationship, right? Sometimes we get in a funk. Sometimes we end up in this place where we are just in it. We're in the mud. And sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes that's part of growth, right? I'm never going to be the coach that lies to you and says, you work with me and your life's going to be perfect, but I want you to help you get out of your funks faster without hurting other people in your wake, which is something I used to do a lot because this girl right here, I have big emotions. You want to wake up with energy. You want to feel connected to your creativity. You want those creative ideas to pour in through your crown chakra. You want to believe in yourself and your path and know that you're where you're meant to be. You want to make a meaningful impact in your community, in your family, and all the connections that you have out into the world. You want to feel magnetic, abundant, and aligned. And you want to navigate challenges with more ease and grace and just this higher perspective. You want to stand in your power. You want to be rooted in love and not ego. You want to operate from your heart, and you want to live a life you're truly proud of, something that you lay your head on your pillow at night and you're like, dang, like I am living a cool life. Like I really made the most of today. Even if it was hard, like I'm showing up for myself. And perhaps you want to create something meaningful, like a soul and heart-led business or a side hustle that makes a little extra money, that gives you some passion and allows more time and freedom, more options. Okay, so this is what maybe has not worked in the past. I think a lot of people get stuck, and this is where I was, is just like listening to podcasts, like just in consuming so much information, hoping that, this will be the podcast that like gives me the shift and like is going to change everything. And you and I both know you've had those moments where you like have that amazing podcast, but it doesn't really like sink into your whole entire being. It's maybe something you remember for like a couple days or a week, and then it's like, now I have to find the next one. Perhaps you've done a lot of traditional talk therapy, which I think is great. I think there's definitely a time and a place, but a lot of people come to me and they're just like, I'm talking about the same things. I'm digging into the past. I'm blaming my parents. Like, it's not getting me anywhere. I'm venting basically. You may be following the safe or expected path. You've gone to college, you got the job, you got married, you have kids, you've checked all these boxes, and you're like, this is what it's all for. It still feels empty. It still feels like you're not really being you. Maybe you're devouring self-help books. I love self-help books. I'm always reading them, but you're like mentally trying to think your way into a new life. And again, it's not really landing. You may be doing a lot of guided meditations, right? There's so many great ones out there, but you're not really able to stay consistent. It's not really feeling like a spiritual path necessarily, and you're not feeling this profound shift over time. You may be trying to change your external world, right? We've all done this. You leave the partner, you change the job, maybe you move away, and you think that's going to fix the discomfort, but it's exciting for a while, and then eventually you're like, oh, there I am. It's still me right here. Or you're copying other people's formulas. You're trying to, do what you saw some other girl do on the internet, and you're trying to follow her work method or her methodology, and it's just not working for you. You're doing like the exact path that this person is doing, but it's not feeling right in your body. Okay, so this is why these things don't work. So I actually did a story about this on my Instagram earlier, but information is so cheap and it's everywhere. Like with ChatGPT, like basically you could have a therapist or a life coach through ChatGPT, but that's not going to transform you. It's just information. Information doesn't create transformation. Sometimes a little bit, but not typically the lasting transformation. Perhaps you've treated symptoms, but not the root energetic or subconscious patterns. You are trying to think your way into change instead of really feeling it and becoming somebody new, taking on this new identity. You are using external solutions to fix an internal misalignment. You are operating more from your ego, your headspace, instead of tapping into your heart, tapping into your highest self. A big one is you're trying to do it alone. Maybe you don't have the support system around you of people or of a leader or somebody who's been where you are before who can really guide you. And so it's hard to stay committed, right? Maybe you've been in a place where like you kind of are over like the drinking culture, but you're still hanging out with people who are drinking. And so it's really hard to kind of cut ties with a culture that you aren't supported in changing around. And perhaps you're repeating familiar cycles instead of rewiring your nervous system and beliefs. So typically we find ourselves repeating the same things over and over and over because of a deep subconscious pattern. And until that belief is put into the light or given space to be seen, you're just going to keep operating on it and wondering why you don't feel any better. And we love our instant gratification here in the West. So we're looking for the quick fix, that thing that's just going to change you overnight instead of doing the work of the deep, lasting integration. Okay, so the process that actually works, and I'm going to be getting into the spiritual powers and how all this relates, but this is what the spiritual powers are really doing here. So they're regulating your nervous system so you feel safe to expand, take aligned action, and receive. When you tap into your body's wisdom using somatic tools, breath work, movement, kundalini, this actually releases the stuck energy from the past that's actually going to make you change into somebody new that you're super excited about being. You rewire limiting beliefs through subconscious work. This is EFT tapping. I'm a huge fan of EFT tapping, intentional affirmations, choosing new thoughts, becoming aware of the thoughts that you're thinking, healing those root wounds that are keeping you stuck in cycles of people-pleasing, self-doubt, burnout, learning how on demand to connect to your soul, your higher self, so you can live in alignment with who you truly are and feel so good about your decisions. You have to cultivate emotional resistance because things are going to be hard. Time is speeding up. Like we are really in uncharted territory right now on planet Earth. So you need to have this emotional strength, the ability to hold challenging emotions in your body and continue to move through your day and make decisions from clarity and grace. That's something that, especially as entrepreneurs, especially if you're building a business, this is one of the key skills that you absolutely have to learn and practice. And then practicing energetic alignment, saying, okay, who do I want to be? And then aligning your thoughts, emotions, and frequency to that version of yourself, and practicing almost role playing or method acting that type of person so that you then become her. Learning to make decisions from love, not fear, where you are rooted in self-worth, peace, and presence. And then this last one, be willing to keep showing up and believing even if reality hasn't caught up yet. This is what sometimes like the hardest part of it all is holding the vision, holding that certainty even when it feels like you're way off. And just trusting that as you stay in your energetic alignment, those results will come. Okay, so we want to target the root, not just the symptoms. We want to be combining body, mind, and spirit. A lot of work out there is just with the head. We're really moving away from that in this new paradigm. And we have to start moving this healing, into the embodiment. We have to regulate the nervous system so you can handle stress, so you can handle the changes, not just happening within you, but around you as the world is shifting. This works because it empowers you to trust yourself. It shifts your energy, which shifts your results. That you have to change your energy. You have to have different energetic hygiene to get different results. It's going to reconnect you to your authentic self, and it's going to build real confidence, not that fake confidence, not that fake it till you make it. True confidence because you know you're on this path and you have that peace that's coming from within. And it's also going to align you with your purpose. So life feels inspired. I mean, this is something when I started getting into this work and awakening these powers, I didn't know that I was going to build this coaching business. I didn't know that I would be here talking to you today. That became revealed once I cleared away all the stuff that I am not. Okay, so as you awaken these powers, you will have deep transformation from the inside out. You will get that natural clarity and true purpose and direction. I remember for years, I was like, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? I just wanted clarity so bad, but I was so stuck in all the garbage and the thought forms and the blame and the shame that it wasn't revealed until I cleared that away. You will have tools to heal emotional blocks and limiting beliefs. You will connect to your authentic self and inner wisdom. You will trust that deep knowing within you and make decisions faster from that place. You will shift from overwhelm to peace and confidence. You will have this new power to take aligned action in your life. And again, trust yourself. You have clear strategies to create a side hustle, a business that aligns with your passions. And I think this is like one of the most powerful things you can do is even just having another stream of income that really aligns with your heart and soul. Best thing ever. A supportive place for growth and expansion, someone who really gets you, people who really get you, attracting your vibe, attracting like your true people, and a sense of fulfillment and joy in your daily life. Just natural joy. I think that's the best feeling in the world is just being happy not because you got money, not because you got a client, not because somebody said something nice to you, just waking up or finding yourself in a moment in your day, just doing a mundane task and just feeling that sense of joy and fulfillment. To me, that is like the ultimate feeling. And you will develop these powers and use them to create a life you're lit up by because you deserve it. And even a life that is like worth going through the hard stuff for. All right, let's awaken your power. All right, so the first power that you have, your first spiritual power, and I think the most important power that everything really flows from is commitment. So you have to choose yourself and you have to choose your relationship with yourself as the most important relationship in your entire life. So you get what you dedicate yourself to. So who and what are you committed to right now? As you know, if you are in a long-term relationship or a marriage or you're a parent, like you are dedicated to that person in sickness and health, in good days and bad days, and you can make commitments to your happiness, to your soul. And when you are committed, devoted to yourself, to becoming the highest, best version of yourself, you're going to get that. Commitment is about the power of getting on a growth path and devoting your life to spiritual growth and spiritual maturity, because ultimately you will find it's the most fulfilling. I work with multi-millionaires. I work with people who you would see and be like, wow, they have everything. And oftentimes these are the people that come to me the most dissatisfied because they've got the job, they've got the relationship, they've got the money, they've done all the things they thought they should do, and it's empty. It doesn't feel like enough. And then they come to me because they want that spiritual path. And that commitment is, when you make that commitment, like all those other things just become bonuses. They don't become like idols in your life. Commitment is about making happiness a daily choice and devoting yourself to spiritual growth, expansion, and staying true to you no matter what. Another big thing about commitment, this power, is it allows you to stick to goals that will make you proud. And that's something a lot of people come to me with, is like, I keep giving up on myself. I don't have any goals. Like, I want to feel that I'm seeing things through and feeling that sense of accomplishment. And I just had a client share that she's on like day 1,000 of Kundalini yoga, and what confidence that gives her to just know, like, wow, I showed up for myself for over 1,000 days. Like, that mastery is something that is just such a profound power that gives you such a strong sense of power and a strong sense of self and confidence. And with commitment, if you keep up with your commitments, you'll be kept up, which is basically like, if you stay on this spiritual path, this bigger force will kind of push you along and make sure that you keep moving forward. Okay, the next spiritual power is the power of awareness. So Kundalini yoga, what I teach, is about the yoga of awareness. That is what Kundalini yoga is. And when you develop this deep sense of awareness, you are able to slow down your reaction time. I talked about this a little bit earlier. When you are a very reactive person, every time something happens in your life, you like use it as a reason to go dark, or to be mean, or to like say something you don't mean, or belittle yourself, or give up on plans, or whatever it is. You're not creating that space to like really move from your soul. You're really in this identity of being limited, of being small. And so awareness allows you to be like, okay, I just felt like a punch in my gut. That feels hard, but I'm gonna like be aware of this before I actually act from it. And that gives you so much power. Awareness also allows you to tune into more subtle energy. So just being aware of like little shifts in your environment that can kind of tip you off to maybe not going this way or not going that way, or maybe you feel the energy of guides or angels, or just you feel yourself in a new way. You're just more aware of these other like dimensions of reality. Awareness also allows you to increase your intuition. So you're not making decisions out of fear. You're really tuned into this like resource, this inner resource of guidance from this spiritual realm. And you're going to have more spaciousness around your thoughts. So it's like, so many people come to me and they're just like, I just can't stop thinking. Like I'm in so much confusion with all my thoughts and all these decisions and all these things in my head. And as you develop awareness, you'll have more space between your thoughts, and then your thoughts won't be running the show. You'll realize the difference between you and your thoughts, because you will realize you are your soul, you are consciousness, you are not the thoughts that are just going to be constantly going all the time. There will be less of them because you will be more aware of them and you will have more command over them. And becoming aware of what's really driving you. So am I making decisions from my ego? Am I making decisions from my higher self? When I make this decision or decide to do this thing or spend time with this person, is like that really coming from something I want to do? Or is this coming from a habit, coming from fear, coming from conditioning? And again, it's just making decisions from your heart instead of your head, which I think there's a lot of conditioning around, like, oh, don't make decisions from your heart because it seems like frivolous. But when you make decisions from love, that's actually also sometimes tough love. Sometimes that's actually doing and saying the hard thing, but you know why you're doing it. And when you love your reasons for doing something, you're always going to feel good about the decisions you made in the long run. The next power, one of my favorites, is the power of sound. This is the awareness that everything is made of sound. Your thoughts have a sound. Your words obviously have a sound. You're always vibrating. And you want to learn this power of seeing yourself as an instrument and learning to tune your instrument so you attract a more beautiful experience. And a great way to do this is through mantra. A great way to do this is to just repeat positive affirmations in your mind. Just be mindful that you're always putting off a signal, and that is what you attract in. And when you are really mindful of your sound current and you're focused on like putting out a beautiful vibration, literally chanting mantras all day, every day, playing them, like putting really like beautiful podcasts, beautiful TV, like being really cautious of what sounds, what vibrations you're putting in your energy is going to impact your reality. And I just did a session with a client earlier today. She wants to have a more powerful voice. She's an entrepreneur. She has a couple different companies, and she's like, I want to have more command with my voice. She kind of talks quiet. People say they can't hear. And I said, you have to fall in love with your sound current. Start listening to yourself talk, listening to your words. So you're not like thinking and talking at the same time, and you're going to have more confidence, and people are going to trust you more. Your voice is literally a power source to change your energy field. And this is a spiritual power I do not hear a lot of people talking about, but it's something that we work with a lot in Kundalini. And when you learn the power of your sound, you can, maneuver reality in ways that people who don't have command over their sound just you'll like be doing it, but they won't understand why you're doing it. And you can create really beautiful things for yourself and help other people have a more beautiful experience of themselves when used with love. And so also when you use your voice and you use your energy and you use your words in a particular way, especially my manifesting generators out there, if you're into human design, some of us are really attuned to speak things out loud and to manifest them. So this is definitely a power that you want to focus on. Okay, the next one is magnetism. So this plays off of sound, but what you vibrate, you become. And you want to think like you are a magnet. So whatever you're putting what you're putting out into the world will be mirrored back to you. And so when you tap into your magnetism, and really it starts just with owning, I am magnetic. Like I am magnetic to my desires. Like you take responsibility for your energy, the energy you're putting out, and then you open yourself to receive that positive energy in return. When you tap into the power of magnetism, you're allowing things to come to you instead of forcing outcomes. Like I said, it's just this belief, I am magnetic. I draw in what I put out. And you just allow your true nature, when you are connected to your soul, your true nature, your Satnam, your authentic self, that just emanates from you. And when you do that, then you don't have to worry so much about controlling or forcing things in. You just vibrate beauty, you vibrate love, you vibrate intention, you put out a specific vision, and then those things come to you. And you call things in that way. And you know what energy you're projecting in the room. There's this gal right now who is talking a lot. I think I found her on TikTok, but she's talking about like people who have the it factor. And it's just like, just decide to emanate this. Like, I am a being of love. I am this valuable, amazing, beautiful, like divine essence. And you just project that into the room, and that is going to give you power. That is going to draw in opportunities, because people are going to be like, I want what she has. I want her on my team. Like, I want that. And they won't even be able to put their finger on what. Magnetism is also the power of strengthening, expanding your aura, which is your electromagnetic field. It's your energetic home that you live in. And you want to learn to grow your aura, build your aura so that you have more protection. It helps with health. You're going to have less diseases come in. You're not going to be so impacted by other people's negative energy. And you're just going to have more clarity of thoughts, more clarity of words, more clarity of action. Okay, relay. This is about relationships. So this is the power of understanding your role in relationships. So many people get stuck in relationships where you feel very separate from other people, or you get into this kind of negative back and forth with other people, and it can cause a lot of problems. They say relationships are the highest form of yoga. And so this is a power that you want to be well aware of. And this is about also understanding your unique relationship style, understanding yourself and how you need to be cared for or seen, how you communicate in relationships, understanding your unique relationship learning style. I love doing this through human design. That's a power that I really learned from that system. And it's also this ability to clear the filter from the past to see others through a present moment awareness. So a lot of the times, like if you had issues with your dad or issues with your mom or issues with an ex, if you don't clear the subconscious patterns that caused the rift in those relationships or made those relationships challenging, then you are going to see all men from for example, your dad's like worst characteristics, or you're going to find ways to self-sabotage if you have this, like maybe you attract an amazing man into your life or an amazing partner into your life, but if you haven't done your own work to clear the glass or to clear some of your negative patterns or subconscious blockages, then even if that person isn't really like being like your dad or being like your ex, you're going to see those aspects of them because you're not in a correct relay with them. And one way to do this is to understand give or take roles. This is a yogic science. I could literally do a whole presentation on this, but we'll save that for another day. But this is understanding in a relationship, there's always one person who's the giver and one person who's the taker. And there's so much negative conditioning around this of like, oh, that person's such a taker. They just take. Or you might be like, I'm such a giver. I just give. But in any relationship with two people, there's always one giver and one taker. And if you don't assume the role that you're in with that relationship, for example, in my relationship with my husband, he's more of the giver. That's not just because he's the man and I'm the woman. Like, for example, like the Obamas, like Michelle is the giver where Obama is the taker, right? So you want to understand what your role is so that you can relay better and that dynamic flows more naturally. And that's something that, like I said, we could do a whole presentation on, but that is a power when you understand that and you can use it to make the relationship flow more easily. It's also the art of setting boundaries, the power of being able to know what your boundaries are, why you have those boundaries, and set them and keep them. And then a big one I help people with is releasing people pleasing. It's the power to know that when you are selfish, first of all, selfish isn't a bad word, but when you honor your own needs and do what's right for you, it's actually what's best for everybody else. And prayer. Prayer is a massive superpower that I think is one of the most underutilized, which is that you have this ability to uplink into a higher power at any moment. Literally on demand, you can receive guidance. Like in any moment, you can just be like, okay, God, universe, whatever you connect to, like I'm struggling. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to see this differently. Please guide me. Please show me the way. Prayer is when they say, prayer is when you talk to God, and meditation is when God talks to you, or replace God with whatever word works for you. But this is like your opportunity to surrender your problems. Like life does come with uncertainties. We're not supposed to have it all figured out, especially if you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're a parent, especially if you're doing something you've never done before. You're gonna have to surrender your problems and take that heavy weight off your shoulders. Prayer allows you to know that you are guided, you are protected. It helps you to feel more safe. It's this power to develop an inner dialogue with your spirit. And it helps you to just feel less alone in this world and know that I am scared right now. I am dealing with some fear. I don't know what to do next, but I know that I'm good. Like I know that I'm guided, and I know that the more I pray, like that prayer will always be answered. There's a spiritual teaching, like in the prayer is the answer to the prayer. So knowing as soon as you cast that prayer out, the answer is already there. Like it's already coming to you. Okay, so those are the powers. There's many, many more, but I feel like those are the ones that are the most important for you to work with. And when you use these powers, even if you just take one, like I'd love to know, and maybe you want to drop it in the chat, but like what was the power that stood out to you the most? Like I said, information is cheap. I'd rather you take literally one thing from this workshop and run with it and use it and like become a master of it than have like know all this information and listen to this replay 100 times and be able to result it verbatim. Like that's not going to get you anywhere. What's going to get you somewhere is like, okay, I'm going to take this power and I'm going to run with it. And when you do, you're going to have more confidence, more self-trust in your self-trust, right? And then also more trust in a higher power. You're gonna have more consistent access to higher emotions like peace and joy. You're gonna be more present in your relationships. You're gonna have better health. You're gonna have an increase in opportunities and money. I had a client literally message me this morning. She's like, I did the meditation you told me. And then she screenshotted this opportunity that came in, which was literally something she's been trying to manifest for months. Literally was just did this meditation and boom, it came in. It can happen that fast. You're just going to feel better about yourself and your life in general. And creativity and energy are going to be more natural for you so that you can create something you're passionate about. I think so many of us want to be more creative and want to make something, but you're just like so exhausted, so tired. And the thing that's making you tired is almost always your thoughts. It's not actually the thing that you have to do. It's your thoughts about the thing that you have to do and the subconscious blockages that are making it feel so hard. Okay, so that's the masterclass. That's the workshop. I am now going to tell you a little bit more about my process and working with me. But like I said, if that's not something you're interested in right now, then I will bid you adieu and would, obviously would love for you to stay, even if you're just like curious and maybe you already know what I do, or maybe you're already working with me. So that's it. And so I really invite you to start working on these skill sets now, because we cannot wait anymore. Like, I believe if you're in my world, if you're with me live or you are listening to the replay, you are a leader. I'm really passionate about creating leaders. I don't want followers. Like, I'm not looking to be at the top of the stage and have all these people like trying to be like me. I want you to go be a leader in your own world, no matter where you're working, whether you're at a hospital, whether you're in an office, whether you have kids or all of the above, whether you're an entrepreneur. Like, you are here to lead. This is not for just anybody. This is for people who want to go be leaders in this world. And if that's you, like, you know it, like, you know that you want to be an example, you want to be a role model, and there is no time to waste anymore. You have to go like own these powers and go be an example of what's possible, because there's so many people that are lost right now. There's so many people that are confused right now. There's so many people that are just doom scrolling and they're depressed, and mental health issues and suicide and all these really terrible things are on the rise because people are not connected to their inner power. And so the more that we can wake up individually our inner power and really use these inner resources, we will inspire other people to do the same. And that ripple effect will make a huge massive difference. Because really, when you wait to do this work, you're waiting to live a life that feels like yours, and you're going to stay on that hamster wheel. You will not be living your highest potential, and you will not be serving the world in the way that you're meant to serve the world. And this can look so many different ways. Like I said, like, it doesn't have to be like a business like mine that's really obvious and front facing. It can literally be the interaction you have with your child or your husband, or, I was walking down the street yesterday, and this woman, she just looked so beautiful, and she was walking, and I just looked up and I just looked at her and I said, beautiful. And her smile just like radiated out. And like, that's because I was present. I wasn't in my own way. And I had this moment of just such a deep connection with her. And I wasn't looking for anything in return, but it was just such this beautiful moment of like, wow, that's what happens when you're clear. That's what happens when you're present. That's what happens when you're not just in the garbage of your own damn mind, and you're not able to have these connection moments, which who knows how that could have transformed her life or allowed her to be nicer to somebody in her life. Like, we just don't know the ripple. And that's why it has to start one person at a time. And that's you. Okay. So this is an opportunity to start working on these skill sets now. Like I said, there's no time to waste. You got to fulfill your highest potential. This is your time to shine, baby. Okay, so working with me is one-on-one Kundalini life and business coaching. So I help you to basically make your life what you want it to be by awakening your Kundalini energy. Your Kundalini energy is your creative potential. And this isn't just creative like art, which it totally can be. I love artists. I work with a lot of artists, but it's your ability to manifest. Manifest just means create a life that you are excited about, a business you're excited about, something you're proud of, something you really have agency in, ownership in. And it's not just like life is happening to you and you're just following the steps. It's like you're creating it through your thoughts, through your energy, through your emotion. So This is really the process. So it's you deepen your spiritual connection by letting go of external validation, feeling like you just need to do more and be more to be enough. And you build a grounded relationship with yourself. The way you do this is by anchoring into a daily practice. You create a routine. I help you with this. I help you customize one with tools like Kundalini yoga, EFT tapping, journaling, things that bring you peace and presence. And we just experiment and find that toolkit that works for you, and you have different tools to use at different times. You also unlock your human design. And this is understanding how you're uniquely wired, your soul's blueprint, and how you make decisions and manage your energy and thrive in relationships. And then you just also appreciate other people so much more. Rosie's here on the call too. We run retreats together. We have a couple spots left in our Sayulita retreat if you want to come. It's probably going to sell out this week, but more to come. Anyways, she and I have been able to be like such fantastic business partners here in this endeavor because we really appreciate each other's strengths and are able to use those. And so you learn how to do that with your romantic partners, your children, like anybody that you want to have a better relationship with becomes possible with human design. It's literally life-changing. And you're going to master manifestation. So this is learning to shift your thoughts, your emotions, and frequency to attract what you truly desire. You'll really understand how the manifestation process works by stepping into this new identity and becoming somebody that you want to become and learning to bridge that gap. You will rewire your mind and clear subconscious blockages and patterns that keep you stuck. And so change becomes natural and lasting. I have this client who she came to me to lose weight, and I'm so proud of her. She's amazing. And she had lost and kind of yo-yoed with weight for a really long time. And we're finally doing the work of clearing the subconscious blockages of like how holding on to this extra weight was actually keeping her safe, and kind of revealing some beliefs she didn't even realize were there of like, okay, if I lose this weight, it means I'm going to lose these relationships. And so clearing some of those blockages, and now the weight is just falling off because those blocks aren't in place. She's not just doing it from the external layer, she's doing it literally at the root. You'll also learn to protect your energy. This is key, especially as you step into your power, as you step into your leadership. You're going to have to create boundaries. You're going to have to let people go. You're going to have to like remove yourself from things that no longer serving so you can start living life for yourself and stay out of that burnout. And then creating soul-aligned success. If it's aligned, so many of my clients, I'm adding this piece in because what's been so cool in this journey is people start working with me and they want to work on life coaching. I was really just focusing on spiritual life coaching, and now pretty much all my clients have started businesses or grown businesses or have shifted careers. And so I really feel like that's one of my superpowers, is helping you find your gifts and building something that you're passionate about that really supports your highest self. So what you get when you work with me is 24 weekly sessions. I think weekly is really, really important because that's how we're going to build the change over time, over 6 months. We have flexible scheduling if you have to cancel or move or whatever. Obviously, I have some boundaries around that, but we make it work for you. I know you're really busy. You also get lifetime access to my Create Your Daily Kundalini Yoga Practice course. This has over 70, I think there's like 80 videos in there of meditation, breath work, yoga practices, and you get access to that as soon as you work with me and then forever. So it's always yours. You get advanced Kundalini yoga training, customized practices, a full-length human design reading, and I just did a second training. So I have another level of human design that I'm really excited to be sharing with people. And you get that recorded for lifetime access. I can also look at other people's charts if you want me to, like you want to better understand your partner or kids. You'll have or learn about EFT, which is tapping. This is just removes stuck emotion in the body, also helps to remove subconscious blockages. You will get mindset shifts, coaching tools, different thoughts that you can tap into for better communication, better fulfilling relationships, journal prompts, weekly homework for integration and progress. So it just becomes part of who you are and you start to understand yourself better. And this is one of my favorite parts of the program is you get unlimited support through text or voice memos between sessions. So not only are you getting these 24 sessions over the month that we have, or the 6 months that we have together, you also, like, I love when my clients, I don't always use this, but I love when my clients message me, you know, maybe we have a session on a Monday and they message me on a Thursday and they're just like, I'm at work, this thing happened, like, help me to like make the best decision or any guidance on this. I love that. I love to give you support because I want, like, your success is my success. So ensuring that you're getting that support between sessions is really something that's important to me. And I just want you to feel so supported. I want to be like that cheerleader in your pocket that you're like, all right, maybe I don't have anybody else in my corner right now or anybody who can get this, or maybe, sometimes it's so hard to ask for help, but like knowing that there's somebody who's always going to be looking out for your highest good and wanting the best for you is literally a text or a voice memo away. And then just support, accountability. Accountability is such a big thing. It's like, I will make sure you don't give up on yourself. I will make sure you stick to the plan and you get what you want and you become the person you want to become. And that transformation will last you a lifetime. I always want to work with my clients forever because I love them so much. Like, they're just like the best people in the world. But I want you to eventually like be able to fish, I want to teach you how to fish so you can do it on your own. Okay, so I invite you to take action now. I am almost fully booked, but I would love for you to work with me or get on my wait list if it's not the right time right away. But I invite you to do a free consult. So this is literally 60 minutes of undivided attention where we just get to say, like, where are you at? Like, how amazing is it in your life to have an hour of undivided attention only focused on you, where you just get to talk, you get to say all the things that you've been carrying, you get to empty out that heavy backpack and like just release all the heaviness. And we look at where you are now, and you probably have some problems or some things that feel impossible to solve. And then we look at where you want to be, who do you want to be in 6 months, what are your goals? And then I help you bridge the gap. I'm going to tell you what your problem is, what's going on, why you're not where you're meant to be, and what you're going to need to do to get there. And there is never any pressure to work with me. I do consults as a service. So even if it's something where you're like, I just am interested, but I'm not, maybe now is not the right time. There's never any pressure. I, of course, if you're on the consult, I would hope that you're at least somewhat interested and want to learn more about the process. But either way, I would love to do this consult with you and guide you, and no matter what, like, leave you better than I found you. And just don't wait to get support and live your dream life, because now's the time. And I'm almost sold out. Prices are going up soon. And I just wanted to offer this to the people who are ready and open up that space, because I'm just so excited about the clients I'm working with and the results that they're getting and watching them transform before my very eyes. And I would love to extend that to you. And I would just love to open it up to any questions that you may have. And I will drop the consult link. I encourage you to do it now, book it now. Don't wait. Let's make time for ourselves and for your soul. Feel free to drop a question in the chat. Wow, I did pretty good on time, and I didn't cough. I had my first asthma attack ever this last weekend. Very scary. I'd never had asthma before, and so I was like, God, I hope I don't cough. I was doing a lot of prayer before this presentation, so we made it. Okay, so Rosie asks, what is the recommended amount of time to work together? So I start with a 6-month plan, and I do that because I think that's something that's digestible. I started with 3-month coaching, which was 12 sessions, and I felt like at 3 months, like, people were just really starting to get it. And I was like, I want to do something that is more like long lasting and where people really like feel the results. They really change their lives. And so now it's a 6-month container. And that's something that I buy a lot of coaching. Like, I'm a coach who buys coaching because I think coaches need coaches and leaders need leaders. And I'm doing the work and speaking from a place of embodiment. I very much coach from experience with that. So, and I feel like buying a 6-month chunk feels just like doable. Whereas like a lot of coaches will do like a year or 18 months. And I'd be happy to do that with you. But I feel like you commit to 6 months. Some people are good after that, but most people continue. Most people do another 6 months. I've had clients since I've started. And so, some people it just depends what you want to do and how long you want to do it. And it's all welcome. Oh, Allie Glover, I love you so much. I can attest that working with Greta is transformative. Yes, we worked together for a year. Oh, I love you so much. She was such a success story. I was reading over some of our notes the other day, and yeah, you are just such a true inspiration, Allie. So thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you, Megan. So good to have you. And you guys, thank you, Padrula. It was so great to have you. If you have any questions, I'll send you an email with the replay if you want to listen to it again and kind of reflect on some of the spiritual powers, as well as a link to my consult to book one of those consults. And Rosie and I, if you are interested in getting a little taste of all this goodness and more of like an integrative experience, we are hosting retreats. And so That is another excellent way to tap into this. A lot of people do our retreats and then they do one-on-one coaching. And so we have, I think, 2 or 3 spots left for Sayulita, and we're going to be dropping a couple other retreats that are going to be available soon. And then we have something else in the works that we're not going to talk about yet, but more to come. So thank you all so much. Thank you for your time. I hope you got a lot of value out of this today. I'll send you the replay and feel free to pass it along to friends and family. And I hope you all have a beautiful night. Thanks so much.